Picture a country where citizens don't just vote for politicians, they vote on the laws themselves. A country where almost every major decision, from immigration to healthcare to public spending, must be approved directly by the people. Welcome to Switzerland, the land of chocolate, clocks, and the most direct democracy on earth. But what does that actually mean? And how did a mountainous nation with 4 languages and countless local identities create one of the world's most stable political systems? Let's unpack the Swiss secret. When most people think of Switzerland, they imagine postcard-perfect mountains, neutrality, and maybe a secret bank account or two. But Switzerland's real secret isn't hidden in a vault. It's written into its constitution. It's called direct democracy, and it's one of the most ambitious experiments in self-government ever created. While most countries elect representatives and trust them to make decisions, the Swiss people said, "Nice idea, but we'll take it from here." In Switzerland, citizens can challenge almost any law passed by parliament. If 50,000 signatures are collected within 100 days, that law must be put to a national vote. If the majority rejects it, it's gone. Just like that. This is called a referendum, and it's a powerful tool. Imagine being able to stop a tax increase, a new surveillance law, or a controversial trade deal. Not by protesting, but by simply voting it down. And it doesn't stop there. Switzerland also allows popular initiatives where citizens can propose entirely new laws or even constitutional amendments. If 100,000 voters sign a petition, it triggers a nationwide vote. If the majority agrees, that idea becomes part of the constitution. Think about that for a second. In Switzerland, ordinary citizens can literally rewrite the country's foundational laws. So how does this all work without chaos? Through a system built on consensus and trust. Switzerland has a federal structure made up of 26 cantons, similar to US states, but with even more autonomy. Each canton has its own constitution, parliament, and courts. They handle education, healthcare, policing, and taxation locally. This means Swiss citizens aren't just voting nationally, and they're constantly voting locally too. In fact, the average Swiss voter is invited to the polls 3 or 4 times a year, and each time they might be voting on a dozen or more issues, both national and local. To outsiders, it sounds exhausting. To the Swiss, it's normal. It's how democracy is supposed to work. But let's rewind a little. How did Switzerland become such a participatory democracy in the first place? The story starts in the Middle Ages, with alliances between mountain communities who wanted independence from feudal lords. These alliances evolved into the Swiss Confederation, a pact of cooperation rather than domination. Each region valued autonomy and mistrusted centralized authority. When the modern federal state was established in 1848, after a brief civil conflict, the founders built that skepticism right into the system. They asked, how do we prevent tyranny? How do we ensure the people always have the final say? Their answer: give the people the power to veto the government itself. And remarkably, it worked. This balance between government and citizens is sometimes called the Swiss Compromise. Parliament governs, but always with one eye on the public, knowing any unpopular decision could be overturned. It forces politicians to negotiate, cooperate, and seek broad consensus. In other countries, political parties fight to dominate. In Switzerland, they're practically forced to share power. Even the executive branch, the Federal Council, is a 7-member body made up of multiple parties. There's no single president running the show. Instead, the presidency rotates every year among council members. That's right, Switzerland changes presidents annually, and nobody panics. Why? Because power isn't about personality, it's about process. So what are the results of all this participation? For starters, Switzerland consistently ranks among the world's most stable democracies. There's little political polarization. Corruption is rare, and voter turnout, while not sky-high, is steady and meaningful, because Swiss citizens know their votes actually matter. This system also produces an incredibly engaged population. When people are trusted with real power, they act like owners, not customers, and that builds legitimacy, not just in government, but in community life. Now, that doesn't mean it's perfect. Critics say direct democracy can slow down progress. Big infrastructure projects can take years because every stage requires public approval. Complex issues like EU relations or climate policy are often reduced to simple yes or no questions. And populist campaigns can sometimes flood the system with emotional appeals, but the Swiss have found a rhythm. They debate fiercely, then vote, then move on. No endless protests, no riots, just civic habit. It's democracy as routine, not spectacle. And here's what makes it even more impressive. Switzerland is one of the most diverse small countries in the world. 4 national languages: German, French, Italian, and Romansh. Different religions, regions, and cultures, all sharing one state. Direct democracy didn't divide them. It kept them united. Because when you give everyone a voice, you remove the need to shout. Beyond politics, this system influences everything. The economy, education, even urban planning. Citizens vote on pension reforms, energy policies, and housing developments. They've approved same-sex marriage, rejected higher defense spending, banned new nuclear plants, and even decided on whether to limit immigration. The point isn't whether the outcomes are right, it's that the outcomes are the people's. Every Swiss vote, big or small, reinforces one message. Power isn't something you delegate, it's something you exercise. So next time someone says democracy is broken, remember Switzerland, a country where the people never stopped being in charge. It's not perfect, it's not fast, but it works because it treats citizens like adults capable of governing themselves. In a world where most democracies struggle with apathy, Switzerland stands out not for its mountains or money, but for its model. A reminder that democracy, when trusted and practiced, it can still be the strongest system on earth. If this helped you understand how a tiny alpine nation built one of the world's boldest democracies, like the video, share it, and subscribe for more deep dives. Right here on EdNerd Explains. Because the best government isn't a mystery, it's a mirror of its people.